If you're looking for a stunningly beautiful walking simulator where you play as a dog and wander around the ruins of a civilization, piecing together the story as you explore, you have two options: Spirit of the North and Lost Ember. And unfortunately, neither one of these games feels entirely finished. The primary difference between the two games being that despite my grumbling and moaning through my playthroughs, I actually overall enjoyed Lost Ember. So while this originally was planned to be a side-by-side review, Lost Ember is the one I'm going to be able to really dig into any detail about. I think with any game, what has to be the first thing I talk about is the gameplay. There's not much. Lost Ember has this creative mechanic where you can possess other animals to progress. Some of them are fully animated, and some of them they forgot to do. In theory, this opens up a whole world of quick puzzles and the potential to offer some challenge, and I almost completely waste it. There are optional collectibles around the world, but if you want to progress forward, there's almost nothing at all asked of the player besides holding W and taking in the lovely scenery. But speaking of the scenery, the game is very pretty, though easily the most beautifully done aspect of the entire game is the wolf you play as. And as nice as it all looks, as nice as the big open fields are, there's not much done with it. It may as well be a backdrop on a stage. The first half of the game, maybe even more of it, all takes place in the same one valley. Everything in this half is so visually similar, and it isn't until the last act of the game when you finally get to see the rest of the world, which really is the best part, visually and just it's the best part of the game. When I look at a game, the graphics usually is the last thing that I look at, but when the game is banking entirely on its visuals and its story, the gameplay takes a backseat, both in the game and in my view of the game. I hear a lot of good reviews about the soundtrack of this game, and while soundtracks generally are my thing, it's always the biggest thing for me in a game. If the game has good music, I'll love it 100 times more. The soundtrack is pretty, but it doesn't stand out to me at all, and the vocal tracks would have been improved if the singer was not a generic sounding British pop singer. Hey, no closet, no closet, no closet, hey. No closet, no closet. Okay, so the gameplay here lacks any depth. The visuals are wasted on its lack of variety throughout the first half. Second half visuals fine and good, beautiful game. Even though the gameplay loses a lot of polish in this last half, whatever, it's fine. The game isn't built around revolutionary gameplay, but a little more work making the game flow better might have kept me more invested in the story, but the story really is the big part of this game I should ramble about. Usually I would drop something like, oh, I don't even know where to start with this story here, but if I'm honest, I have never been more confident in knowing exactly where to start with this story. It's one of the most straightforward, predictable storylines, and while it's not textbook in setting, it is absolutely by-the-book writing. And to be honest, I really like that about this story. In media nowadays, writers often blur the lines between clever and pretentious. They often seem to forget that they're trying to tell a story, and it becomes a game of how subtle can I make this hint so the audience won't notice. A good twist in a game or movie, of this length at least, is one where all the pieces are there and everything makes sense. The twist in Lost Ember is so well set up that it was barely even a twist. Like, the way the story goes, it's so obvious and clear from the beginning where it's going that it almost didn't even feel like it. Almost. My biggest complaint is how clever this game thinks it is. Either that or how much it underestimates its own ability to tell a story. I can't tell what the real issue is here. The game does an excellent job showing you what the story is, and the cutscenes are well done enough that you can gather most of the story just by watching them. But instead you get this.
What does it say? Kalani? What? It's you. Oh no. Bandits. Wait. That's Kalani. Wolf, that's her. I mean you again. So you were a bandit.
The game it's so resistant to letting you experience the story for yourself that they have someone come in after every single scene and tell you what you just watched in the most dull performance imaginable. It might not be such an issue if the main voice actor put any emotion into his performance.
Wolf, your mark, Wolf. That's you as a child. Oh no. Oh, hey you. I just need someone to... Is there no one here that understands me?
Thankfully, they added an option to turn it off, so bonus points for that, but they also put a notice on the option saying I probably wouldn't be able to follow the game without it, so reduce the bonus points a bit. As much as I am displeased with the game, I feel like over my playthrough, it wasn't a struggle to continue. I felt like I was enjoying it, even though I could only really grasp onto the bad things. I think had this game been a movie, if they had made a short film or even a full-length film out of this game, I would have loved it. I think the story is very touching. I think the music is nice. I think the visuals are pretty. At the end of the day, I don't feel like I wasted my time. Lost Ember to me is a 5 out of 10. I don't know if I'll play it again, but I would not be opposed.